one of the amazing stories I read, I actually heard it originally about 2-3 years ago from Rabbi Ephraim, but I also read it in this great book called Legacy of Leaders by Rav Yuda Azulai, and it's about the Zdei Chemed. Zdei Chemed, Alav Shalom, was one of the giants in previous generations, and he says that when he was just a young avrech, there's nothing special about him. He says, as a matter of fact, I had to work really, really hard just to understand and get by. I was definitely not one of the top students. Far, far away from it. I was trying to get by. One thing I tried really hard. But there was this one guy with a lot of natural-born skills. Memory, looks, came from a good family, wealthy family, and so on. For whatever reason, he hated me. Hated me. Just whatever he could, he hated me. I never knew why. I would just go, I learned I wanted to learn. But one day, this guy comes to the kollel when nobody's there, and he tells the Arab cleaning lady, listen, you see that guy looking at Zdei Chemed? Says, him, I want you to tell the Rosh Yeshiva tomorrow, or tonight even, that Shem Yerachem, he touched you. Now when someone in the secular world, makes such a sin, Shem Yerachem, a rape or a something like that, it's like, what do you expect? It happens. People always shocked for a moment, but they move on very quickly. Especially in today's world. 2 people broke out of prison today. Most people already forgot about it. Or they don't even know. There's a school shooting almost every other week, it seems like, at least. People are like, oh, yeah, another school got shot. What do you mean, another school got shot? What do you mean? When I was a kid, the Columbine shooting that they had, I was still young at the time. The whole world was shocked. Wow, kids shot up a school? What's wrong with these kids? Who are their parents? It was a big thing. They made a movie about it. It was shocking. Everybody got scared. I mean, we were going to public school. We didn't know any different. But still, we're like, start looking around at the other kids. Who's going to shoot? No one knew what to do. Now, there's like 10 of them a year. It seems like it's every month there's other crazy kid shooting somewhere. Everybody got like comfortably numb. We're numb to these things. Same thing goes with rape, Hashem Yerachem, with child molestation, Hashem Yerachem, even in the Jewish world. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about that there's some of these Reshaim with a beard are raping little kids, but the kid's too scared. Why? Because maybe they're going to kick him out of yeshiva. That's the Erev RAV, by the way. These things happen. We need to talk about them. We need to kick these Reshaim out. Stop standing quiet. Worry about him, not him. But we've got numb. But in those days, Rav Chaim Medini was something like this happened. A Jew, especially a Talmid Chacham, young scholar, touching an Arab woman. Big Chilul Hashem, big problem. So he says, listen, the guy, the Rasha, tells her, listen, I'm going to pay you $10,000. Obviously in those days money. Tomorrow you come to the Rosh Yeshiva, you make a big scene, he touched you. Arab woman, cleaning lady, she makes $50 a day. Of course, what's she going to say? No. Next day, a big scene happens. Shem Yerachem, say, this guy touched me. Everyone doesn't know what to do. It's a big chaos, big problem. The Rosh Yeshiva, he knows who his student is. There's no way he did it. There's no way he did it. But apparently everybody thinks he did it. So he says to Rav Medini, why don't you go out of town? Let things cool off. Come back. No, a few months, a few years. Whenever things cool off, I'll send you a message. May take a few years until people forget about this. But I know you didn't do it. Between you and me, I know you didn't do it. It's just that everybody else thinks it is. Listens to his Rav, he leaves town. Knowing he didn't do it, he doesn't even try to fight for himself. He just, that's what the Rav says, to leave, I leave. A few days later, the Rasha dies. Hashem punishes him like he deserves, and he dies and goes straight to GEHINNOM. Eventually, the money that the Arab woman made runs out. And she starts all of a sudden getting a conscience. You know, when you have money, usually you put the conscience in the safe. The money in your pocket. When there's no money in the pocket, you take whatever's in the safe, so the conscience comes back. So the conscience came back. She starts feeling bad. She just ruined this kid's life. So she asked the Rosh Yeshiva, where's the young guy? He goes, oh, he's in so-and-so town. He's far away. It's been a long time. I haven't heard from him. So she goes on her way to go find him. And she finds him. And he tells a story. The Sdei Chemed says, one night I'm studying, I'm learning at the Kollel, and this Arab woman comes to me and she says, do you remember me? And I said, yes. She goes, listen, I really, really feel bad about what happened. And I can't sleep at night, and I really am willing to confess. I'm willing to confess. It was really that other guy. He paid me a lot of money to say it. And I'm willing to confess, to tell everybody that you didn't touch me, and so on. I just want to ask you for one favor. If you could please just tell the Rosh Yeshiva not to fire me. Or at least find me another job. Money. So Sdei Chemed says, I get up off the chair to go with her. But before I take my first step, I think about what's about to transpire, and I sit down. And I tell her I'm not interested to go. She said, what? What do you mean? Everybody thinks you're a rapist. Everybody thinks you're a rasha. Everybody thinks you did it. You touched me. He says, let him think. Hashem knows the truth. She goes, yeah, but why? I'm giving you an opportunity to clean your name. It's not costing you anything. It's free. He goes, no, it's not free. The cost is Chilul Hashem. When you did what you did, Hashem's name was desecrated in Shamayim. They said a young boy that's learning Torah is using this Torah to touch women. What kind of Torah do you have? Hashem's name was desecrated. They said that instead of using my chokhmah to do ma'asim tovim, I use this chokhmah to take advantage of people. Hashem Elachem. Hashem's name was desecrated. Now if we go back, even though you're trying to clean my name, it's still going to remind people of what happened. And it's going to remind people of the Chilul Hashem. And if Hashem's name is going to be desecrated for one moment, it's not worth it for me. Let my name be desecrated till the end of days. Then for Hashem's name be desecrated for a moment. And he let her go. And he says that night, after she left, and I made a very difficult decision. I could have cleaned my name up. But I decided that Hashem's honor is more important than mine. Because that night, my brain opened up in such a way that I was no longer the same student. That's when I became Sdei Chemed. All of the hard work that I worked my whole life finally opened up. Finally bore fruit. Finally gave me the reward that I can't even explain. Why? Because the honor of Hashem is the only reason why you're learning. In the Gemara, it says anyone that doesn't spend time each day looking for a way to honor Hashem, it was better that he was never born. explaining to us that in essence the only purpose of why you're here is to honor Hashem, to sanctify His name. The only way you can get to that kind of level is by fulfilling the basics. First and foremost, fulfill what you know. You learn halakha, you learn how to keep Shabbat, you learn to eat kosher, you learn to be modest, you learn not to touch muktzeh, you learn not to carry outside if there's no iruv, you learn all these different things, netilat yadayim, all of these different halachot, basic day-to-day halachot, fulfill them. You know, fulfill. Don't wait till you understand the entire Torah, because that day may never happen. And to finalize, the last point, every day in Tefillah Mincha, right before Mincha, right before the actual Tefillah, the Amidah, we read Tehillim 145. Ashrei Asher Betecha, and then the Tehillim 145. And here he says, at the end of the Tehillim, Karov Hashem lekol korav, lekol asher yikru be'emet, רצון יראיו יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם, שומר השם את כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד. תהילת השם ידבר פיו, ויברך כל בשר שם קדשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם. In these few lines, he just gave you this entire lecture. First and foremost, he's telling you, Karov Hashem lekol korav. Hashem is close to whoever calls to Him. Whoever is considering, how do I want to look like when the Mashiach shows up? Would I wear this tight dress? Would I want to show my collarbone as a woman? Would I want to show my knees against halakha? Would I want to wear the extra long wig? Would I want to not wear a kippah? Would I want to not wear a tzitzit? Would I want to still be a person that curses on a day-to-day basis? Is this what I want to look like when Judgment Day comes? First verse. Second, what kind of people? The people that fulfill these mitzvot, the people that use the wisdom to fulfill these mitzvot. So he says, Lekol asher yikru be'emet, not just people that just learn. The ones that are reading with an intention to learn, with intention to do, be'emet, with truth, open their hearts. Retzon yerav ya'aseh, you want Hashem to make miracles for you, you want Hashem to give you parnasah, yaldim tovim, all these good things, good kids, good parnasah, all these things. He says, all you need to do is fear me. Those who fear me, I do their will. I fulfill their will. Vet shavatam yishma v'yoshem, and their cries He will hear and He will save them. All of those that get themselves into trouble with different things, if you had fear of me, I'll save you. Shomer Hashem et kol o'avav et kol haresha'im yashmid. He protects those who love Him, but the wicked He will destroy. Those that stick with Him, the ones that are really, really lovers of Hashem, that fulfill the mitzvot, as it says at the end of Parashat Vayetchanan, He protects them. But those that are Resha'im, the Erev RAV, it says it literally, He's going to destroy them. There's no second option for them. And Gemara talks about that the GEHINNOM doesn't have a size. Doesn't have a size. Gan Eden has a size. It's 400 times the size of Earth. But it says GEHINNOM doesn't have a size. It continues to expand. Apparently there's more people attending it. Now, Rashi, in Masechet Chagiga, talks about it a little bit. In page 15b, there's a conversation between Nimor, which was a Goy philosopher, and Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, asking him different questions, the purpose of life, Gan Eden, GEHINNOM, things like that. And Rashi says that in his day, most people are going to go that go to GEHINNOM are going to go only for a year. And the reason why is because in his day, he says that any Jewish woman, there was a Jewish woman, you know for sure that she was modest. You had no issues of immodesty. And for the most part, everybody kept mitzvot. There's no television, there's no Facebook, there's none of that garbage. It says the people that, most people, are keeping mitzvot even by default. It's almost hard to violate Shabbat. And as far as immodesty, it wasn't acceptable behavior. Because there was no such thing as mini skirts back then. Says most people are going to go, they go to GEHINNOM, are going to go for a year to get cleaned up, just for a few sins that they made. But he says the ones that are extra wicked, they go there forever. So mikatzeh lekatzeh, from one corner to the other. He says standard people of his time, nearly 900 years ago, most standard people, it's fine. They're going to be okay, even if they go, it's only temporary attendance. They made a few sins, they do a few things, no good. Because the ones that are really wicked, those types of people, they don't leave. Who is he talking about, the ones that are really wicked? Who are these people who are really wicked? People that are Nazis? People that are massive murderers? No. He's talking about the Erev RAV and their followers. He's talking about the Mesitim. He's talking about the people that are not only sinning themselves, the Mechalel Shabbat Befaresia, the few that existed in that time, but even more so, he's talking about the ones that misdirect the people. The people that are teaching things that are against the Halakha, people that are teaching things that are against the Torah, and are leading the public to sin. People are saying, listen, if you're driving on Shabbat to Bekneset, as long as you're not pressing on the gas extra hard, it's fine. As long as you park far from the shul, it's fine. They make all these different heterim, all these different new rules to the Torah. He says, them? No, that's not the people I was talking about, he says. Those people, they never leave. They go to GEHINNOM, they go to that part that keeps expanding. So, HaShem is giving us a very, very simple choice here. When you do what he wants, you're only going to win. You'll fulfill your will. You'll have a good life here. You'll have a good life in Olam HaBa. You'll have an Olam HaBa. You'll have extraordinary life. But when you go against him, you're putting everything on the line. You're putting everything on the line to such an extent that you're being infected by the Erev RAV and you're becoming one of them. And that's the biggest test at the end of days. It's not a matter of whether you are Erev RAV or not, because you were born that way. It's whether you're Erev RAV because you choose to be. Everybody can do tshuva. Question is whether you want to or not.
To buy off, the bottom line is that these two companies have a huge opportunity. There are only two companies in an entire sector. My story doesn't start with religion. My story doesn't start with the truth. My story starts with Alma de Shikra, the world of lies. God gave, God took, may his name be blessed.